Hi, I'm Neil McDougall, Managing Director of CalShea Management. I wanted to put this clip together to explain what it is we do and why we do it and how we approach management, particularly around linking strategy to operations and clarifying strategy. We are a team of experienced consultants. We each have somewhere between 5 and 8 years of strategy management experience, but we come from a background of operational experience. Each of us have 15 plus years of operational experience, either in product development, sales, marketing, supply chain, a wide variety of business experience. And we now have taken that into this strategy management realm. And so linking strategy and operations is our expertise, and we've got a depth of experience with this framework I'd like to explain to you, which is the one that we use to organize everything we do. It's a confusing world out there in terms of performance management, choosing BI tools and KPIs and monitoring, measuring, and decision making. And I believe this framework, which is the best I've come across by Kaplan and Norton in Harvard Business Review. You can look it up, Mastering the Management System, I think is one of their articles that explains the whole picture. But we use it because it clarifies. It helps us know where we are in the organization, where your issue is, and how it fits into the big picture, and then helps us decide, what's the tool or management discipline that you need to move forward. So just bear with me here for a second while I build up this picture, and then from there we can kind of help plot exactly the services we offer around this double loop management system. So anyone that's had any experience in any kind of operations, which most businesses have some form of operations, will be comfortable with this first section, which is there's an input. It's either a raw material or it's some kind of an IP or some kind of a process expertise to your business. You organize your people and your tools around adding value to that raw material, whatever it may be. That brings some kind of value added to your customers that ideally is actually superior to your competitors. Okay, that's where your competitive advantage comes, and that's why customers give you their money to bring your product or service to them. Now, around that fundamental value add, if you will, are organizing business processes. These are basically to keep the business under control, whether it's quality or safety or marketing promotions. There are processes around your operations that keep your business predictable in one form or another. Ideally, that's what they're intended to do. So keep it contained and predictable. All right. So then, in terms of getting more and more value out of your business, getting more and more value to your customer base, the idea is to monitor both the performance of your processes and the performance of your operations, and look for those levers that can improve the performance of your business and get greater and greater value to your customers and greater value to your shareholders. Okay? Then, using that monitoring framework, whatever you choose it to be, you make better and better decisions to allocate your resources, whether it's funding or it's tools or it's staffing, but you're adjusting those levers to continually improve the performance of your business. Is everybody with me? Okay. So far, I think this is, at least conceptually, what most of us think of in terms of business. And most of us, again, that have had the opportunity to participate in operations, I don't think any of this is rocket science. It's definitely not easy to do, to outperform competitors, to continually provide value added and improving value added for your client base. But conceptually, it's not too tough to understand. Okay, so in the Kaplan Norton lexicon, this is your operational control loop. Okay, this is where you're trying to continually, incrementally improve your business and make it more and more predictable so that your shareholders are happy and your customers are happy. Now, this is where we take a little bit of a leap into the abstract. if you will. The bottom half, the control loop, that's well and good in a fairly static or only incrementally changing business environment. But most of us operate our business in a dramatically changing business environment. We've got new competitors every month. We've got new technologies. We've got new economic swings to deal with and variations. And so there needs to be a discipline that resides above your operations, that helps you scan that landscape for what your next change needs to be to stay ahead and move your operational value add to the next improvement, if you will. I'm talking about step changes, not incrementally, but where do we need to be in 1 to 3 to 5 years? And so this is where the strategy management discipline comes in, and you need some kind of, it's a different type of monitoring and discussion and decision making and what if analysis to help you make those choices about where do we need to be in 2015. And this is where tools like Scorecard, we like to use Scorecard to link strategy to operations, but it's a monitoring tool and an active strategy management tool to help you take the strategic direction from your leadership and translate it into business decisions for your management to make and implement. So in the Kaplan-Norton language, this is the strategic learning loop. You're looking and scanning 3 to 5 years out, and you're trying to make decisions of where your resources need to be next year and the next year after that to make sure that you're staying ahead of these step changes in your environment. And so part of that is constantly revisiting your strategy, maybe twice a year, maybe 4 times a year, but looking at your strategic direction and making sure that it constantly makes sense. So there's a dynamic management system. It's double loop, okay? So the top is really tracking and learning around those step changes in your environment, while the bottom is around incremental improvement and incremental value add for your customers and shareholders, all within a framework of controlled processes. So when you're starting to think about what you need in terms of measuring and monitoring, there are a number of elements that marry up really to that double loop management system. I think most of us are comfortable with the concept of operational KPIs. These are measures that are tracking the key drivers of your business and how you're performing operationally. Operational programs or projects are then your discretionary investment in improving. Maybe it's a new production line, maybe it's a new IT system that helps improve the throughput of your operations, maybe it's a new supplier, maybe it's a new supply chain management, but these are incremental improvements. I'm not talking about dramatic shifts, I'm talking about squeezing more and more out of your operations. Then there is the process improvements. How good are we at keeping those results predictable? And what should we be measuring? Should we be measuring the results of our last product promotion? Should we be measuring the performance of our safety processes or our quality processes? And corrective actions or process improvements are the projects associated with that performance. So if we're not happy with the bang we're getting for our buck around marketing promotions for getting more seats sold on our airline, then we should be looking at a process improvement to improve that approach. Okay, so that's the operational side of the house and the parameters that we use to manage in that space. And so remember, we're thinking about measuring and monitoring a process double loop system. So now what's guiding the strategic side of the house is your mission, vision, and values. Okay, that frames everything that you decide at the top, which boils down to a strategic destination. Usually 3 to 5 years out, you're looking at a very tangible spot you want to bring your business to, and that will dictate what are your strategic objectives and thrusts or themes. So it could be customer service excellence, it could be product innovation, it could be supply chain innovation, it could be operational efficiency, any number of those type of main thrusts break down into a number of strategic objectives that help transform your business, that help drive that step change to get you to this destination, which is consistent with the mission, vision, and values and the reason that you're in business. Strategic indicators or strategic measures or KPIs then track how you're performing towards getting to that destination. Okay, so these are the metrics and parameters that we use to measure and manage that upper loop, the strategic learning loop. Okay, so how are we tracking towards product innovation? Well, there'll be an innovation objective. Maybe it's going to be something along the lines of let's anticipate our customers' needs better with our product portfolio. And then how are we tracking the performance towards anticipating our customer needs better? Okay, are we hitting the mark? Are we leading them? Are they coming to us for new products? Or are they coming to our competitors? You'd have a strategic indicator around that, and that's something that then the management group can get together on a regular basis and say, look, at the beginning of the year we decided we're going here. We decided our business wants to look at such and such, look like such and such in 3 to 5 years. So how are we tracking? How are we tracking with that product innovation objective, and what are the KPIs telling us? Okay, which then brings us to what decisions do we need to make around investing in this strategy? Where should we be investing to give it a boost, to give the afterburners or jet boosters to get these themes happening more quickly? Okay, so that's a whole lot quite quickly, but when you're thinking about measuring and managing and monitoring and BI systems and corporate performance management systems, these are really the elements that you need to be managing. Some of them are, you can see the legend here, that the grays are actually measures or KPIs, the whites are programs, and the purple are strategic elements that are guiding you, essentially, guiding objectives.